Drivers ignoring stop signs and traffic signals. Pedestrians crossing the road wherever they please, absorbed in their music or smartphone. Bikers who don't obey traffic rules, weaving in and around moving and parked cars. The roads within and around the NIH campus in Bethesda, Maryland are dangerous, and we all play a role in making them safer. There are dozens of pedestrian accidents each year involving an NIH worker, and about half of them happen on this very campus. You might think that you don't need a lecture on how to drive or walk safely, but in many cases it doesn't matter how skilled or experienced you are. You simply need to remain attentive, particularly when the actions of the other person can be so unpredictable. Aside from just plain foolishness, many causes of pedestrian accidents reflect a mix of cultures and differing assumptions held by drivers and walkers. We have foreign nationals working at the NIH representing more than 100 countries. Many of you have traveled abroad, and you understand how laws and cultures vary in regards to cars and pedestrians. Time and again we read accident reports in which the driver assumed the pedestrian would stop and vice versa. The safest place on campus, it is said, is in the labs. We are proud of our laboratory safety record. We aren't so proud of pedestrian safety, and we won't be proud until the number of accidents reaches 0. Please listen closely to the following message from NIH Police Officer Matthew Catherwood.
Every year, far too many pedestrians and cyclists are involved in collisions with motor vehicles. These tragic and often fatal collisions affect everyone from the involved parties and their families to co-workers, friends, and even the community. With each of these accidents, lives are changed forever and never for the better. It is everyone's responsibility to be cognizant of their surroundings and to obey all laws pertaining to pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers. Following these important safety tips will help keep everyone safe in their travels to and from their destinations. For drivers, stop for pedestrians at crosswalks and intersections. It's the law. Don't block crosswalks when stopping at intersections. Slow down and obey the posted speed limits. Obey speed limits, signs, signals, and markings, and never run red lights. Be careful when passing stopped vehicles. They may be stopping for pedestrians. Allow 3 feet when passing bicyclists. Share the road. It's your responsibility as a driver to look out for others. For pedestrians, cross the street at marked crosswalks and intersections whenever possible. Stop, look left, right, then left again, and over your shoulder for turning vehicles before crossing streets, even when you have the right-of-way, and especially at intersections with right turn on red. Begin crossing the street on walk signals, never on a solid or flashing don't walk. Use pedestrian push buttons to activate or extend the walk signal. Use sidewalks if there are none. Walk facing traffic so you can see vehicles and drivers can see you. Make eye contact with drivers before crossing to make sure they see you. Never assume they do. Stay visible after dark and in bad weather with reflectors, retro-reflective clothing, or bright colors. For cyclists, wear a properly fitted helmet. It can save your life. As a cyclist, you have the same rights and responsibilities as a motorist. Obey all traffic signals, signs, and lane markings. Ride on the right side of the road with the flow of traffic, never against it. Pass slower moving or stopped vehicles on the left. Ride predictably and defensively. Use hand signals before turning. Stay visible and use lights, reflectors, and retro-reflective clothing when riding at night. Make eye contact with motorists and pedestrians before crossing paths with them. Always yield to pedestrians when turning, and especially at a right turn on red intersection. When cycling on sidewalks, always yield to pedestrians and give verbal warning when passing, such as passing on your left.
On October 7, 2010, a 28-year-old visiting graduate student and pre-doctoral visiting fellow at one of our institutes died after being struck by a car near Rockville Pike on her way home to her apartment. She'd arrived from China to the United States less than 2 weeks prior. The incident was particularly sad and tragic, but the details are all too familiar. Working late and crossing dark streets with fast cars. You might find yourself in such a situation, working late, rushing to get to work or to get home, answering emails while driving or walking, checking your voicemail while behind the wheel in heavy traffic. We appreciate your dedication. Honestly, we wouldn't have hired you if we didn't value your work ethic. But safety must always trump multitasking and rushing about. When commuting or even just cutting across campus, remember, be alert, be responsible, be patient. We need you alive and well.